Now, for a lot of last year, and I guess most of the history of this channel, I've mainly talked about things that I either just don't like or things that I've been rather critical towards. But seeing as it was the Christmas season and we had all those gooey, warm feelings around, I thought that I would change up my regular style a little bit and talk about something actually positive for once. So to start off, I'll pose a question to you. What do you do when you're feeling down to cheer yourself up? If you didn't answer drinking heavily or swallowing 15 boxes of paracetamol, then it was probably something along the lines of doing something that allows you to go back into the past. Whether that's through a game you used to play as a kid or a childhood film and TV show, there's a lot that we can get lost in to get our minds off our woes for a while and hopefully make us happy whilst we're at it. A way I've achieved this has been revisiting some blasts from the past right here on YouTube, whether that's the Minecraft videos I used to watch as a child, or some older stuff that I remember watching like a few years back. The today's subject of this video is about the latter, because quite recently I've been watching quite a lot of classic videos from PeanutButterGamer, who I was obsessed with for a long time. He's quite possibly my biggest inspiration to do the kind of stuff that I do, and I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that if his videos didn't exist, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you all now. Although I don't really enjoy a lot of his newer stuff as much, having stopped catching up with him in around 2020, he does have a solid catalogue of videos from over a decade behind him. And so the question is, what are my top 10 favourite PBG videos? Well, that's what I'm here to present today, and hopefully have some fun whilst I'm at it. So here they are, my top 10 favourite PBG videos
in the world.
Oh, and before I get started, I just want to clarify that I'll only be focusing the videos on his main channel, so no Peebs or PBG gameplay stuff here, as well as no collaborations that he's done like Apples and Grapes. I only mentioned that because that one that's particularly good. This was a hard list to make, and whilst it is in a particular order, I would say, don't really think about the numbers too rigidly. It's just for a bit of fun, and I think that's everything, so let's go! At the bottom of my list is a PBG Christmas thingy, and to be honest, this list probably would have had to be a top 9 if not for this video. It was his 2010 Christmas special and properly started off what would become the My Sims trilogy. So, why is it on this list? Well, it's just funny. Sure, it's short and it's really just a bit of a skit, but whether it's delivering Christmas spirit to Smiley Man or just screaming about the game, this video is a pretty good time. The constant calm music just makes it a lot better too. Oh, and I guess the last half about My Sims is, pretty okay too. But even though it did make me laugh out loud, since this isn't a usual PBG video, I couldn't in good conscience put it higher than the top of the list. And if that's not a good enough excuse, then my only disappointment with it is that it isn't the video where he dances around to Charlie Brown music, because that's Try Not to Have a Sucky Christmas, and that's not on his channel anymore. And that's all I really think I have to say about this one. Look, even JonTron loves this video, so really, how could I not include it?
It was all a dream.
That's right, it's time for the top 10 worst licensed games. Like the last one, what puts this at the number 9 entry is that it's quite funny. Quite a few bits that became running jokes started in this video, like Ghost Riding the Whip and they're perhaps the most funny here in their original context. And you can easily see why they became running jokes, since these parts are some of the most solid bits of the video. But that doesn't stop pretty much every other section from having some kind of comedy bit or joke in it, whether that's smashing the Regis Philbin photo frame, or PBG's just excellent Hannah Montana skills.
Did I get it?
Perfect.
Okay.
I think I was probably subscribed to him by the time this video came out, so it was something that I really enjoyed back when it first came out, and it's definitely still enjoyable today. Although it is pretty limited as a top 10 because of like the basic picks, mainly Superman 64 and E.T., but still it is pretty good. Also, everyone I talked to about this list mentioned this video, so I felt at least a little socially obligated to mention it. So, there you go. I did it. I put it on the list. For the next entry on this list, we've got the top 10 Zelda boss fights from the 2013 Zelda month. This was quite a hard pick to make, but I just had to put this one on here. This was one of the videos I remember really liking when I was younger, and it still holds up well. As a top 10, it does a good job to show a variety of Zelda stuff, really using the kind of laid-back, more comedic focus list structure instead of a more rigid, objective one. And this video was how the world was graced with such gems as the accidental forward backseat, as well as many of the best musical moments from the whole channel, like the Onox song, When You're Having a Bad Day, and the Spinny Top thingy. Not to detract from the whole positive thing we've got going on, but seeing as one of my big criticisms of modern PBG is all of the singing portions of his videos, they feel less like jokes when they used to, probably because they're also incredibly more frequent. So it is nice to have gone back to a video where all of that is still really funny. It's pretty memorable too. Like seriously, I haven't seen this video in probably over 3 years, yet as soon as I saw the start of the old Game Boy graphics, it's like something just clicked in my brain. I can't remember really what I did yesterday or half of the stuff that I learned in school, but I've still retained a song about kicking a dragon guy's balls. Beautiful.
To hit his gems and something kill him. Thank you for not closing the video, everybody. I appreciate it. Merry late Christmas. I'm sorry.
If you take a look at a lot of PBG's new stuff, one recurring trend you'll find is that he covers a lot of kids' games, whether it's putt-putt doing things over a decade ago to Pajama Sam, and pretty much every Goodwill Games episode. And in my opinion, the best of all of these is Putt-Putt Does Some Things Again, the second in its trilogy. Maybe it's the car horn, maybe it's the weird clicking stuff, or maybe it's dancing penguins. It could have been something to do with the sliding hippo, and probably this just amazing backstory. And it almost certainly has something to do with these monkeys.
A Clydesdale in Bridesville is as pretty as a dried snail.
Unlike the third episode where the games are so boring there needed to be 4 of them just to fill 10 minutes, Saves the Zoo and Enters the Race both have a solid amount of material that really allows this episode to be a good time for all. Also, the music in this one isn't copyrighted. So that's a big plus. So if you like funny games reviews and purple cars, then Putt-Putt Does Some More Things is for you.
Hot diggity!
I guess I've kind of cheated for this section because there are 2 videos at this spot, and they're probably ones that you might have expected to be at the top. The Super Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time hacking videos. I really wanted to put something from the hacking series on this list, as it's by far PBG's most popular series, but I could not for the life of me pick between these 2. Whilst I was extremely tempted to lean towards Ocarina of Time, I just couldn't leave Mario 64 off. Whilst Ocarina of Time has the glitch rap that could just be PBG's best musical moment.
Hanging out in the woods and I'm wearing my greens. All the girls run up and tell me about their magic beans.
Mario has the Wing Cap song.
And PeanutButterGamer, I am gonna get a star. I might even eat a candy bar. Wait, peanut butter? Campbell.
Ocarina has Memories and Treasures, whilst Mario has the little creepypasta bit and all the ways he can blow up. And I'm not even mentioning that part because it was a large bit of the first ever YouTube poop that I put up on the channel. But let's be honest with ourselves wholly and truthfully. Whilst I did enjoy both of these videos quite a lot when I was young, and both of them still do hold up as pretty extensive videos that slowly ramp up the severity of the corruptions to usually quite comical effect, hacking Ocarina of Time has held up the best for me over time, but if only for the sheer popularity of the Mario 64 video, as it has stayed one of his most viewed videos for quite a long time now. I just couldn't, and my hands were tied, I couldn't do anything. They both just deserve to be at the number 6 spot. And it also helps to reduce the amount of entries just filled by Zelda videos on this list, because we're not exactly short of them. But anyways, what makes these videos the top choices of the entire hacking series? Well, I think the variety of hacks certainly helps to keep the video interesting and the jokes fresh. This, on top of the familiar editing, narration and script writing from across the sort of 2014 time frame that just really appeals to me personally and my nostalgia. Both of these hacking videos are the best ones to watch, and it's easy to understand how they've become so popular. And now for... is this my first pair of videos? The top 10 ghosts and the top 10 alien Easter eggs. Although these aren't really a pair, being released over a year apart, they will always be connected in my mind. So what puts them at this spot? Well, something I'd like to call bias. Because they're some of the first two PBG videos I ever saw when a friend from my childhood introduced me to them. Specifically the poo-poo bit from Alien Easter Eggs, which I'm almost positive made me laugh hysterically when I first saw it.
He's the scariest, the ugliest, the most savage alien of all time, and his name is... Poo Poo. Feel his wrath.
What probably helps these videos a lot is that they come from some of my favourite eras of PBG content, with Alien Easter Eggs being from 2014 in the lead up to that year's Zelda month, whilst Ghost Easter Eggs is from 2013, which sits right between what I guess is the golden age of his content and the sort of dark, monotone times.
They played the sing song. They played the sing song.
But yeah, as top 10s go, these two do an even better job of what I described about from the Zelda Bosses video, because a whole lot of games get covered here. From the creepy baby in Call of Duty to alien abductions in some random guy's racing game, there's a lot of nice variation to keep it interesting, helped by how a lot of the content in both videos is about side content and hidden stuff. The scripts are sharp, the jokes are funny and plentiful, and the secrets will sure spook you out. I loved these ones as a child, and they're definitely still as enjoyable as ever, and this duo has cemented themselves in my mind as definitive parts of PBG's identity.
Hi.
Now, one thing to know about PBG videos is that the ones that are labelled reviews aren't really supposed to be proper analytical reviews. If you're at all familiar with the normal boot style of game discussion, you probably know that. And although this can be a good thing because it really puts a focus on the jokes and the fun, it can often feel like the game isn't really being talked about. Hey You Pikachu is a video that definitely does not have this problem. Right from the start, this video is focused all around the game and the many criticisms of it, starting with the interesting premise and how much they ruined it, before getting just right into how terrible the voice controls are. These live commentary sections are what really sell this to me as a review, because they manage to be both funny and perfect illustrations of whatever point is being made. This tight, focused script complements the comedy moments, like all the tissues being thrown around and the slapping of Pikachu. Even though I could definitely say that a lot of the jokes in this video aren't as funny anymore, rather than this being a problem, I could say that this is actually a testament to some of the older PBG videos. I'll definitely talk more about this later on in the list, but I think that even though I haven't seen some of these videos in ages, the fact that they're still so fresh in my mind really says something about the quality of the writing. So yeah, that's why Hey You Pikachu is on the list. And number 4, Pikachu. So, it's the start of the final 3, and now we've got the top 10 masks in Majora's Mask. If you held me at gunpoint and asked me how I would define PBG's channel in just one video, this would probably be one of my choices. It's got pretty much everything that makes his game so great. It's got the Zelda theming, and you can really feel the passion he has for Majora's Mask basically in every second. And it's got that classic mix of fast, snappy editing, a tight, funny script, and all the various things I've mentioned across this entire video that I like about this golden age of PBG. But what makes this one a little different is just how burned into my brain the script is. I could probably recite a lot of parts from memory, and as I've said before, making this list has been the first time that I've seen some of these videos in ages. The Bremen song and just the entire openings to the Don Gero and Couples Mask sections are probably some of my personal favourite moments, and apparently my brain feels the need to have them just cemented, just stuck in there.
And it freaking covers your eyes. How am I supposed to save Termina from utter moon destruction when I have some freaking frog sitting on my head and blinding me?
Honestly, there is not a single part of this video that I could really criticise or that I don't like. I know there was a Majora's Mask video that he made for one of the Zelda months pretty recently, but honestly, I don't think you could get a better tribute to what he has always touted as his favourite game on the entirety of the PeanutButterGamer channel. Sure, some parts of it are a little brief and non-explanatory, but this is usually substantiated by something else, like the conveyor belt glitch during the Giants Mask section. But despite all my praise, this is definitely not PBG's best video. And the next one isn't either, but I guess we'll just have to get right into talking about that one now. So at number 2, we've got the Tomodachi Life review, and much like the last one, this is a pure PBG classic. Whilst it isn't as thorough as Hey You Pikachu, I don't really care. It does a good job of showing off a lot of what this game has to offer, although admittedly it isn't bursting with content. At 7.5 minutes long, it does it pretty concisely, which is mostly achieved by the script being full of that signature comedic flair and charm that is present in the best PBG videos. I mean, there is a reason why it's one of the first results on YouTube for when you search the game. Although it could probably be longer, I'm not sure if putting on a few more minutes would have just made it feel bloated or if it would have actually improved anything at all. But considering the nature of Tomodachi Life, which is a lot like Miitopia that would follow it, it's kind of hard to look at the game objectively without having that sort of personal element to it. So this ends up making this video in particular a pretty perfect tribute to this era of normal boots and that sort of content. Even more so than the actual reunion video. This is maybe because this video is actually funny, with the highlight easily being the little snippets of songs. So if you're just as immature as me, then this will be just as fun on a rewatch as it was back in 2014. I think this honestly gave me a bit of the feeling that a PBG Christmas thingy did, where it gave me such a surprise that I couldn't help laughing. So I think going into it completely blind might be for the best.
Yeah, you know that it's true. Oh my, I was happy.
And I think that's all I've got. It's a great video, it's definitely still worth a watch, but yet it only comes at number 2. So what video could take that top spot? Well, before I announce my number 1 pick, there were a lot of videos that I did want to talk about, but alas, they just didn't make the cut, and I've also got stuff I like, and I kind of wanted to mention. So that's what this spot is for. To start, we've got all 3 parts of I Dream of Dreamcast for probably being the best of the really old PBG stuff. It's from the era where he sounded the most disinterested he ever has been, but I don't know, I'm pretty biased towards this one. Another oldish video is The Many Deaths of Link, which gets an inclusion as my favourite To Kill an Avatar video. I know a lot of people like that series, and I do too, so before anyone has the chance to bring it up in the fucking comments, I thought I would mention it before anyone had a chance to bring it up, so why did I put something from that series on this list? As for anything from the G-Files, well, I feel like that'd be a bit like choosing between choosing the favourite between all of my children. But if you got me drunk, you'd probably find me talking most about the kind of smaller, the kind of underrated child that is the Bomberman 64. Wait, what were we talking about again? And for a short list of just quick fire shout-outs, we've got the top 10 Zelda games purely for the joke that I used to just fucking say all the time in primary school.
Hello, I'm a dragon. Hey, I'm still a dragon. Oh, here I am. Hey.
Oh, you killed me.
The Twilight Princess review for probably being his best new one, and Super Mario Land 2 for all the balls.
Floating balls, spiked balls, balls with dancing bears on them, and balls in the background.
But it's time for the definitive number 1 best video produced by the Peanut Butter Guy of all time ever. And if you know anything at all, it's probably not much of a surprise. Link, The Faces of Evil review from the 2014 Zelda month. This video has a lot of the same qualities as the top 10 masks, in that if you had to ask me to define PBG with a single one of his videos, it would be this. This video is a pure, unadulterated classic. All that usual goodness that makes PBG videos great is present here, and I think out of all his content, it really rides the line best between a video like Hey You Pikachu, where the critical commentary is really the key point, and Tomodachi Life, which has got the focus on the comedy. So essentially, this video gets the best of both worlds, but also means that there are segments with just some random guy dancing, a rant about
See his house? What does it even mean, see his house? Of course I can see his house. It's right there. Anybody could.
and a drug joke more clever than any that can be found in the Harvest Moon videos. Oh, and about the script, it's probably just as good, if not even better, than all of the other ones that I've raved about throughout this video. The fact that this video has so many memorable and quotable just bits and lines probably would have meant that it deserved a spot on this list, you know, just for that alone. In fact, it's had such a big impact on me that I was even inspired to write probably one of the first comments I made on this current YouTube account, saying that I would like every single video I make to be like this one. You know, whilst I don't entirely agree with that anymore, because I think the big videos that I've sort of started to produce over the years, they benefit from having a bit of, you know, writing and editing and scripting variety and stuff like that. In terms of combining comedy with, like, actual critiques of, like, a video game, in my opinion, there's not much that consistently does better on, like, the whole of YouTube. Well, maybe just one, but all that in good time.
Hey, wanna fight the forces of evil in Korodai? Check it out, it's easy. When I'm crouching, you can make me do the duck walk. Cool, huh?
No.
And that's my list for the top 10 PBG videos. Do you agree? Hey, let me know. And if you don't agree, I'd really love to hear what videos you like and what should have been on the list. But that's all from me. And because I just don't know how to end any stuff that I do, I'll just steal an ending from PBG.
I won!
I'm done!